Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Let's have some fun. I contacted a group that met in the city after finding a list of support groups for crossdressers online. Every month, on the second and fourth Thursdays, they held meetings. I made the decision to go when it was the next one, which was the following week. My voice was another thing that bothered me. It was definitely not a woman. Thankfully, I discovered a voice training tape online and bought it. I downloaded the samples that were available so that I could begin my voice training right away. I initially got ready to go out as a woman on Saturday, but I soon developed serious doubts. On Sunday, I had always been in the dark, but this time, the rooms were lit. People would undoubtedly recognize me as a man, and some of them might then react negatively. In addition, I had no idea where I should go. Of course, I couldn't go to my usual hangouts because I wasn't yet ready to come out. I then called her to cancel, but she'd already left. Although she was obviously disappointed when she arrived, she claimed to be able to relate to my fear. She then suggested that we still go out, but I would be the man. I was relieved that getting ready for a night out didn't take nearly as long for men as it did for women, so that my girlfriend didn't have to wait too long and we could start our fun night out right away. We entered my bedroom as soon as we got home. We had the entire night because Emily had packed a bag to stay with us. I first noticed that glow in her eyes when I put on my wig, female underwear, and breast forms. And it was well worth it for that glow. I didn't wake up alone on Sunday morning for the first time in far too long. Naturally, I dressed as a woman once more, albeit in casual jeans and a sweater. We cuddled and loved each other throughout the entire day. Emily even got me outside for a walk before it got really dark, which gave me more confidence because everything went smoothly. Naturally, the day was over far too quickly. At least, though, my girlfriend had agreed to accompany me to that support group meeting the following Thursday, so we would have another chance to get together. The voice training tape was delivered on Tuesday, and I used the lessons on it for quite some time after that. The doorbell unexpectedly rang in the evening. As usual, I was now attired as a woman. When my friends wanted to come see me, they would usually call. If I should open the door, I was extremely apprehensive. Finally, I reminded myself that it would eventually surface, regardless. However, I was very happy to see my sister when I opened. I had to tell Rebecca everything that had happened over the previous 2 weeks after she complimented the way I looked. She was happy with how things were going and offered her assistance once more. But I already had all the support I required at that point. Thursday had finally arrived, and I needed to get ready for the support group. I decided to wear a casual dress and flat pumps. I tried to look feminine without going overboard. Emily liked what I decided. I felt anxious once more when it was time to leave. I would need to leave in broad daylight, meet a number of people as a woman, and converse with them in a deep voice. Nevertheless, they would understand because they experienced a similar issue to mine. Mostly, that is. We started driving after I entered the vehicle covertly. When we arrived at the destination and I had to enter the meeting room, Emily had to hold my hand to calm me down. Many women and a few men had already arrived or had shown up before us. The majority of the men appeared rather boyish, and many of the women were clearly cross-dressers. The ages were roughly 20 to 50, and the attire ranged from casual to evening wear. "Hello, you two must be new here," one woman greeted us as she walked up to me. "Thank you," I said in my not-so-feminine voice. "I think we phoned last week. I'm Denise, and this is my girlfriend Emily. I think we're quite a mixed crowd. Today we first have a lecture about the different methods of beard removal, followed by some general discussion, and then most of us go to a bar for a nice evening among friends." After that, the lecture began. There was a lot of useful information in the lecture. It appeared that the new laser treatment was still inferior to conventional electrolysis. I also received the contact information for a reputable electrolysis clinic. We went to a nearby bar with the other members after the formal portion was finished. Despite the fact that I was aware that I would likely be identified as a man, especially if I spoke up, I felt safe and at ease among the group. But by this point, the locals must be accustomed to me. The conversation with the others was enjoyable and instructive. I received recommendations for a therapist, an endocrinologist, a doctor who deals with hormone administration, as well as a few other places to check out. A few of them even invited me to join them on Saturday. We both agreed, and this time I would truly come out as a woman. After all, I had already come out as a woman and received numerous compliments on my appearance. The evening ended very early because the following day was a work day. Given that Christmas was coming up in just 2 weeks, the next support group meeting would be in 4 weeks. On Friday, I scheduled appointments with the recommended shrink and electrolysis specialist. Due to a cancellation, the electrolyst had time the following Wednesday, but the shrink was booked until January 5th. Well, the holiday season wasn't the best time to start. Although my Saturday night out as a woman was enjoyable, I ran into a neighbor on the stairs as I was leaving my apartment. He gave me a strange look but said nothing. That was, after all, going to happen eventually. Emily and I were together again on Sunday, and we went for a walk once more. She noticed that a movie she wanted to see was showing when we were at the theater. Well, a movie theater is already dark, so I concurred. Naturally, I overlooked the fact that there is a lot of light before the film starts. I would then need to gain confidence in public. I looked fine, according to Emily, and no one would have guessed I was a man. Really, no one paid attention. I had my first electrolysis session on Wednesday, and for at least 2 years, I would have to do that every week. My sister came to see me once more on Thursday, just 1 week before Christmas. After a brief period of conversation, she abruptly became serious. "Have you seen Emily's family yet? Do they know about you?" she inquired. "No, I didn't meet them yet, and they don't know about me, at least not about Denise. Her parents know that she has a boyfriend, though. But do you intend to visit them soon?" Yes, we talked about that. Okay, but go as Dennis and not as Denise. And better don't tell them about Denise yet. Her parents are curious and want to meet me, and we thought Christmas would be a good time. Emily is kicked out by her parents, but she still resides with them, doesn't she? I had another vision in which you, Dennis, and Emily first meet some older people who I assumed to be Emily's parents. You believe that her parents won't accept you as Denise? Yes, she does. I don't see what else is significant about you visiting them as a man. You're probably right. Emily and I spent Saturday evening and Sunday together once more. Perhaps it's just the wrong time now. I hope so, but at some point they will have to know about me. So they will just throw her out at a later time. We also discussed paying a visit to our parents. My mother had invited her parents the following day and us for Christmas Eve. My girlfriend said, "I think you should meet my parents as Denise." "No, I can't. I don't think your parents would react well on me this way." "Why do you think that?" "You seem to be quite comfortable as a woman now, and I don't want to hide you from them." "Parents sometimes have strange ideas whom their children may love," he said. "You don't know them. I love you so much. They just have to like you too." "So you think my parents are some rednecks who tell their daughter whom to love and whom not?" she asked irritably. She was getting really angry now, and I didn't know how to calm her down again other than to tell her the truth. "Well, I certainly wouldn't be the model husband in their eyes," I replied. "I'll tell you something now, all right? Please calm down and listen. You might not want to believe it, but it's true anyhow." Okay, go on." According to my sister, who is psychic and occasionally has visions that almost always come true, I must transform into a woman or I will perish. I'm not really a crossdresser in the sense that I feel like a woman inside, but just like them, I have to become a woman, which is why I do all of this. And what does have to do with my parents, you might ask? I know it's hard to believe, but why should I make this up? I love you, and I don't want to lose you, and I don't want you to have problems with your parents either, your sister said, adding, "My sister had another vision this week. She saw that if I don't visit your parents as Dennis, then they'll throw you out. Could we keep Denise secret for now, even if you don't believe me, just to be safe?" She wasn't convinced yet, but after I explained more about Rebecca's visions, she finally seemed to believe me. At least she agreed to accompany me as Dennis and ignore my female side when I visited her parents. Fortunately, Emily didn't have to work that day because Christmas Eve fell on a Wednesday. So we left early in the morning to go see my mother. I decided to dress as Denise because I was actually quite at ease in women's clothing at this point, and I knew Mom would want to see how I was doing. Mom and I hugged each other upon arrival, something we hadn't done frequently before. She liked what she saw and complimented me on my appearance. Mom was happy to meet my girlfriend too, and they got along well. My sister arrived a little later, and we had a nice day together. Mom was very happy to have 3 daughters at this point. When we were all seated around the Christmas tree, Emily said, it was quite some weeks ago already, Rebecca said, but I think it's not quite right. I told her about your visions. The 4th woman I didn't know at the time is *U**. But unlike the vision, Denise isn't quite as feminine. However, it doesn't matter because we still anticipate the vision being realized in 2023. The following day, I finally met my girlfriend's parents, and I really hoped it would because it would mean I would stay together with Emily as well, and I was very much in love. Fortunately, Rebecca had her vision, or we probably wouldn't have sat there happily in their living room. For now, they seemed happy that their daughter had found a boyfriend, but as we agreed, we kept Denise a secret. It was actually quite fun to talk with them, but I just hoped they could somehow accept me as Denise too. This actually became our regular Saturday night activity after Christmas when Emily and I went out to the transgender-friendly bars and reconnected with our new friends from the support group. I was finally comfortable enough as a woman that I dared going shopping in bright daylight. First only with my girlfriend, then alone too, and this made me feel good even though I had no intention to ever date a man. And despite the fact that I was occasionally probably misread as a man, it seemed like everyone accepted me as a woman. I met some more neighbors on the stairs. Most just looked and said nothing for now, like the one whom I had met before. But one woman congratulated me on my courage. I had spent the majority of my time at home in female clothes in the previous weeks, but now I started to appear in public as a woman frequently as well. I had read a lot by this point, and had even spoken to a few who had visited this particular shrink, so I knew what kind of questions to expect and what she wanted to hear. And then came the appointment with the shrink on January 5th of that new year, and I wanted to get my recommendation for hormones as soon as possible. I was initially nervous when I met her, but soon she managed to calm me down, telling me how she was here to help and not to judge me, which was probably another major factor. I dressed in a stylish business suit and high heels for the meeting. Since I was small-framed and had experienced bullying in school, I actually told her the truth about me, with the exception of the reason I felt the need to become a woman. But I kept to myself. She seemed impressed by my natural appearance and my determination. She liked the support group, the electrolysis, the support by my family and girlfriend, and my plan for transition. I just added that I felt like I didn't fit in and that I finally found out why, and that I felt much better since spending more and more time as woman. I didn't expect that, but I was happy about it, of course. We made an appointment for the 9th of February for the next consultation, and she wished me luck on my way. The following day, I had my second electrolysis session, which would be a regular date on Tuesdays and Saturdays going forward. Thanks for watching. Check out Patreon if you want to have early access to the other parts. If not, it will be online in a couple of days.